Today, we're going to change some fluids on the Camaro and get ready for that final drive. Maybe even we'll get the steering wheel installed if the part comes in time. Here we go. Alright, so I put the jack under the front, looks like an axle. I don't really know what it's called. There's that lower radiator hose that's right in the way. That's fine. I'm going to jack it up, put it on jack stands, and get ready for this oil change. I have the car up on jack stands and the jack is under there just for support. I use these spots to jack it up. This side, the metal's a little bending, so I probably should have put somewhere else, but I think it's fine. But yeah, I used it right here, right behind where it says do not jack here. But it's talking about this pinch weld, because when people do that, they mess up this fender like someone's done to this car. So now let's go see what I gotta do an oil change. I've been having troubles locating the oil filter just to know where it is. And the oil filter is back here. Alright, so to undo the plug to get the oil out, there's the oil drain plug right there. I got my catch can right there. And let's go see what tool I need to do this. It's a 16mm socket. Get it on there, loosen it up. Hopefully I can do it with one hand. Let me put this down. Alright, this bolt is really on there. I'm gonna have to get creative here. So I'll come back with you when I figure out a tool I can use to get this off. I rented this steering wheel lock plate removal so I can get my steering wheel back on. I bought an oil filter wrench because I figured it's probably going to be on there pretty tight. And then I got this extendable ratchet, which is pretty cool. But this should do the trick so I can get the bolt off. And someone's mowing in the back. Don't mind them. With this long ratchet, I finally cracked the nut loose. There we go. Oh yeah, nice and black. I'm gonna get my other container just in case. Alright, it's pretty much drained, just a little bit stripping out. Now I'm gonna place my pan under the filter and try to get that off. So underneath the car, this is the oil pan. There's the connector for the header, and up in here is you can see that's the oil filter. It's just past all these oil lines. So I'm gonna put my oil filter wrench on there, give it a nice turn, and let it drop down into my catch can. Here we go. It's draining. Let's see if I can take it out right now. Oh, I just got all over my arm. Alright, I'm gonna put the camera down and then take it out and I'll show you guys. This oil filter did not really want to come off. There's really no room here because of this exhaust pipe. And then this looks like something for the transmission because it goes right into the transmission, but some sort of fluid for the transmission. Maybe this transmission fluid, I don't know. But I think the best place for the filter to be removed, since you can't do it like straight down because of this fitting, is in between this line and then this canister that bolts into the side of the transmission. So I got it, it just barely fits in there, and then I'm gonna have to yank real hard. This is the oil filter that was in the Camaro. Now it bolts in sideways facing the front of the engine, and you have to get the filter wrench just barely on, like you barely have any room, and you need to get it to clamp and lock a little, and then you can break it free. Now with any oil change, don't forget to put the drain screw back in there, and I like to clean them off just because. But yeah, I'm gonna put this back in, and then it's time to add some oil to this car. When you're putting this on, make sure you don't over tighten it. All it has to be is snug. You do not want to strip this. And the same goes with the oil filter. For the oil filter, just do it hand tight. No reason to torque it down with the oil filter wrench. I'm using the STP brand high mileage oil. This car takes 5W30, and people say it's between 4 and 5 quarts. So I'm gonna do 4, see how that is, see if I need to add more. Here's the oil filter. And when you put the oil filters in, you add a little layer of oil around the ring that tightens into place. So I'm gonna take some oil, just put on my finger and coat it, and then screw it back in. So to get the oil filter back in, you can't really fit it between this line and whatever this thing is. So instead, I pushed this line as close to this as possible, and I fit it in on this side, went up, and I brought it back down. I touched the spider web, so I'm gonna wipe it off and put some new oil around it. And now that you have oil on it, just turn it, tighten it, get it hand tight, and that's all you need with these. Kind of slippery because I had oil on my hands, so I'm gonna put my glove on and then tighten it. And alright, that's as tight as I can get it. Now the easy part, add oil. Got a little nasties in here, so I'm just gonna take this old rag, or I guess it was a shirt, and just clean off whatever will come off, but this stuff isn't coming off. Yeah, this is just old oil. Alright, let's put my funnel on there. And hopefully I don't spill. This is an awkward angle. I got just about 4 quarts of oil in here. Let's check the dipstick to make sure there's oil. Alright, hopefully you guys can see, but this looks to be exactly full. Now when I start it up, it will most likely go down a little. So let's lower the car, start it up, see what happens. Alright, start up. Oh, wait, it needs oil pressure. Alright, cool. So it just took a while to get the oil pressure up there. That was weird, but that could be because the oil's been so old. And let me show you. So I hope you can see it, but this shiny stuff, that's not metal, thankfully. That's all dirt. There was dirt in this oil. So, I mean, good thing I didn't keep that in there. Alright, we went from being on the full line to adding to needs one more quart. It's weird that it dropped that much, but it makes sense because oil pressure sucking it out of there. And the Camaro's running just fine. No leaks anywhere. Still pretty loud. Needs to be louder. When I thought the problem was the ignition lock cylinder, which is this where the key goes, I took apart the steering wheel, and this is the point you get to. I have all the screws bolted in, so the turn signals, hazard lights, they all work. We got this screw, or this spring, that just slides back on. Doesn't matter which way, because it seems to be any direction symmetrical. There's this piece, and then there's this piece, so this goes under like that, and then there's teeth on it. I just push it in, and then I have to use one of these steering wheel lock plate removers to actually press it down so I can get one of the C-clips back on. With this steering wheel lock plate kit I rented from AutoZone, they didn't have a little blocker to block this off, so this wouldn't spin out when you tighten this little wind nut. So I found the screw, put it in, and that did the trick. And now the thing is compressed all the way. Here is my little C-clip. See if I can grab it. Yeah, there it is. And I just need to get it to that next opening. With the C-clip in place, I'll back out this locking nut and begin to assemble the steering wheel again. I have the snap ring in now. Now I can put the steering wheel in and lock it down with the nut. This nut is a 22mm, and I have a 1/2-inch drive socket. I don't have a 1/2-inch drive ratchet for this, so I'm using my torque wrench, but it is supposed to be torqued to about 32 foot-pounds, so I'm going to do that just because I have my torque wrench out right now. This car has a steering wheel again. Now all I have to do, I have the little bottom dash cover to hide all these wires. I gotta replug all the airbag stuff that I unplugged, and then in theory this car is good for a test drive. I just need new tires that are not flat, and then I need to flush the coolant and add good coolant again. I put in this lower part of the dash. It also has the rear defroster, and then I put in this little kick panel on the place to rest your foot when you don't need the clutch. And that's gonna be everything for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.